Well, good evening, y'all, and welcome back to Apron Strings. I had some fun today. I went to town to put a few aprons in the mail, and I had one of those little yellow cards that said I had a package, and I thought, I hadn't ordered anything, but it was this neat little envelope, and it is from Janet James, and it was a total surprise. Let me read it to you. Had a little package in it. I like little packages. And it says, Miss Gay, I have discovered your videos on YouTube. I'm so glad I did. They're so enjoyable and packed with tips and wisdom. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Janet. And then she sent me a little mix package. I've never seen this. Now this is McCormick. And we have McCormick down here, but I've never seen this down here in our store, so I'm real anxious to try it. And I will do a video when I try it. It's a super slaw mix. And you have to add some ingredients to it, and of course your cabbage. But it's so fun to get a surprise like that in the mail. This made my day. I needed a spring in my step today. And then, Kelly Taylor, if you're watching, look at this. I went out to get the mail out of the mailbox, and I had this little dirtied envelope with a stamp on it with no postal stamp on it. And let me read y'all my little card. It says, wishing your family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Y'all, this is March, okay, nearly about April. Thank you so much for the beautiful apron, again, because she's ordered more than one. I love it. I wish you and your family a beautiful Christmas and a Happy New Year. Stay safe and healthy, Kelly Taylor. Kelly, I just got this day before yesterday. So, sometimes your thoughts are a little bit long getting there, but they didn't even run it through the stamper, but I just got it, and this is from December. But that was my fun this week that I got in the mail. Now, let's talk about food. For one thing, I'm going to show y'all, I had used this parchment paper making some, you know those cookies that I have a video where you make your dough and you roll it in cylinders and bring it out of the freezer and roll and cut some cookies? Let me show you some of them. Mama called them pecan roll cookies. And you shape them into a cylinder, and then you cut them. You let them thaw enough that you can cut your cookies, and I cut them about that thick, and oh my goodness, they're delicious. So I was going to make a couple of the little cylinders of those cookies last night. Was wanting something sweet, and I used a piece of parchment. Well, I don't throw it away after one use, and y'all probably don't either, but just in case you do, well, you need to not do that. I just folded it up to fit this pan that I'm going to need for what I'm fixing to make here in a minute. Now, I've got some really cool new recipes, new for me, coming up, and I can't wait to try them. I'm thinking Tuesday may be one. Thursday is the cooking for one or two, and then next Saturday maybe another one. And if I can get caught up on aprons and yard work and cleaning the porch off and getting it ready for the spring and summer, I will try to do some extra videos. But right now I've got some good stuff in the file waiting for its turn. It has to wait for its turn. But today I'm just going to do a quick side dish, and it's called smashed potatoes. And what you do, you get the little fingerling potatoes, and that's what I did. In fact, what I did, Kroger always has a markdown area, and everything in that particular bag is 99 cents. So I bought a bag of them, and they come in, like this one had some of the red ones and some of the white ones in it. And what you do is you boil these until they're fork tender. Then I'll show you what we do next. So I'm going to put them on the stove, and when they come to a boil, I'm going to sprinkle a little. This is more a method now. I don't have a recipe card. I'm going to sprinkle a little salt in here. And the reason that you wait until your water is warm or hot or boiling to put your salt in, it'll go to the bottom of your pan and discolor your pan, and sometimes it dissolves and sometimes it doesn't. But if the water's boiling, then you can sprinkle your salt in and stir it a little bit, and it'll dissolve and helps to season them a little bit. So now if you wanted to, and I might do that, I might drop a garlic clove down in my water to season them a little bit more. Y'all know how I am with garlic and onion, but even a package of onion soup mix to boil them in until they're tender. Give them some extra flavor. But we're going to get them tender, and then I will bring y'all back and show you what we're going to do next. Okay, my water's boiling away over here, so I've sprinkled a little salt in it, but I'm going to mash a garlic clove. If you're not used to doing that, you just lay it flat down and take you a wide knife and put it on the top of it and hit it, and then your peeling will come right off. And I'm just going to kind of cut this in pieces because I just want the water flavored a little bit with garlic while it boils. Get me some. If y'all hear the noise, my electric tea kettle over there is getting my water where I can steep some tea. But I was going to tell y'all, when I was growing up, we didn't have baked potatoes. The first baked potato with the sour cream and bacon bits and cheese that I ever had in my life, when I was 16 years old, I went to work at Southwestern Bell as a telephone operator. And when you finished your 2 weeks of training and passed the test, they would take you out to the nice restaurant in town. Boyette's Restaurant was our classy place to go eat. And you got a steak and baked potato. So there were 3 or 4 of us in that group, and we went out, and oh my goodness, I thought I loved taters and gravy, but I loved that baked potato with that stuff on it. Now my mama made, I told y'all that to tell you this, Mama made what we call taters with their jackets on. And she would take just regular potatoes and scrub them real good and boil them until they were tender. And we would open them up and put butter on them. But we never had sour cream and cheese. So y'all might want to try sometimes making taters with their jackets on. If something's wrong with your oven and you can't cook a baked potato, you can boil a whole potato and then it'll be ready to eat just like a baked potato. But my goodness, I got hooked on those baked potatoes in 1968, and I've been liking them ever since. Now, I worked at Southwestern Bell as a telephone operator my last 2 years of high school. Absolutely loved it. Would go back to work today at the switchboard if I could. I was working there when direct dialing first started coming in. And you know, one end of the switchboard you worked and answered calls, and on the other end there was two seats that had little cubbies up here with the directory in them, and we would have to look up phone numbers when people called information. And a lot of times kids would call, I need the number for the pharmacy. Well, we had 2 or 3 pharmacies in town, but pretty soon, and I still remember a lot of the phone numbers by heart from giving them out so many times. And then direct dial came in and kind of closed down the switchboards. But we would have to set the timer and time how many minutes people talked, and you know, they did a ticket check and a ticket count. I always had high ticket counts. I loved it, enjoyed every minute of it. But anyway, had my first baked potato working for Southwestern Bell at my little you passed your test. Okay, my potatoes are soft. I stuck my fork in them and it goes in easy. So I'm going to drain them. And then I'm going to bring them over here on some paper towel and try to pat them a little bit dry, because you don't want them real wet. So let me get the camera turned back around where y'all can be right there at the party with me. Okay, I'm going to pat my little potatoes dry, and I'm going to put them on this parchment lined cookie sheet. And some of them don't look too pretty. I have had these a while and they needed to be used. I actually bought them thinking that I would do corned beef for St. Patrick's Day, and I didn't get it done. So what you want to do is you want to take a flat object like one of your egg flippers or spatula, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to just barely mash them. Just smash them open, kind of like a potato patty. Maybe I need to just bring y'all on over here close. Let's do that. Come on over to the butcher block real close. I just got my spatula and I'm just mashing them. Let's get those scooted over. Some of these had little eyes on them, and I just went ahead and picked the eyes off because I do that. I don't worry about it. This thing getting hot. Whew. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to sprinkle olive oil on them because you want to make them crisp. So we're going to do this on both sides. Season them, flip them over, Then we're going to put them in the oven on about 400 degrees and let them crisp up. Y'all, they're good. I'm going to put just a little salt. Again, this is a method, okay? I'm just going to salt each one of them a little bit. Now when you get them out of the oven, of course you could put a dollop of sour cream and some cheese and bacon on them if that's what you wanted to do. Okay, of course I want a little bit of garlic on them. If I'm living and breathing, I'm going to put some garlic powder. You don't have to. You season them according to your taste. You could actually, if you really wanted, you could season them with taco seasoning, whatever you wanted them to go with. But I'm just going to season them like this. And then I'm going to flip each one of these little darlings over because they're oiled on the top. You want oil down there because you want the bottom part to crisp up as well as the top. So I'm going to drizzle a little bit more olive oil on them. And I've never done it because I just always do it according to the little recipe that I found, you know, with this all about it. Guess you could do butter, but butter doesn't have as high of a heat point. So, okay, let me get a little bit more salt out. Now you can make, of course, as many of these or as few as you want. Like the cooking for one or two that I do. This could definitely be done like that. Just cook a couple of little small potatoes for each one of you and you'll have another small side dish. And a little onion powder. Now, you could put thyme on them, you could put sage, you could put whatever to add the flavor of whatever the dish that they're going to go with. Okay, now what I'm going to do is put them over there in the June oven, and I've got it set on 400 degrees. And I'm going to let them cook until they start to brown, and then they'll be done. And I'm probably going to put a little bit of sour cream and cheese on them. And I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. And it'll sing me a little song and let me know when it's, and I've got it enlarged where y'all could see that. It's going to play my little tune. Uh-oh. It's going to play the little tune and let me know when the 15 minutes are up, and I'll check them because I want them crispy on both sides. And then I'll bring them back and show them to y'all so you can fix you some today or tomorrow or pretty soon. Okay, y'all, I got them out of the oven and I cooked them 15 minutes on 400. And then I put them on broil, but they weren't right up under the broiler. On the same rack, I just put them on broil for about 3 minutes. Let me show y'all. See how it kind of browned them? So now I'm going to get them on my plate here. This plate is another memory and another treasure. My friend Pam Downs gave me this plate probably 35 years ago. I texted her the other day. I have a bowl that came from Longaberger Baskets, and it's a, y'all have seen me use it. It's a crock, and Pam gave me that on my 40th birthday. And I've slept a couple of nights since then. But I wrote to her and told her how much I enjoyed it, and she was glad that I did. She said hers like that got broken. Well, I didn't offer to give her mine. I'm not quite that nice. Now y'all, that I had some sour cream to put on these, but I don't. So I'm going to put real butter. I don't use margarine, not even Parquet. I'm going to put butter on top of each one. It's just a neat, kind of a glorified way to serve potatoes. It's something different. Kind of addictive because they're good. Gives it a little bit of a crunch. And then I'm going to just sprinkle some short cheddar cheese over them, and I'm cheating. Kroger puts this cheese on sale. It's just hard to refuse letting them do it for me. And if I think I'm going to clip some green onion blades to put on the top, and that's going to finish it, and I'll get y'all down close where you can see them. Okay, y'all, I've got them on my little platter, and I put butter on the top, and then sprinkle the cheese, and snip some green onions. And I've already snitched a bite, and they're delicious. I hope y'all learned a new method for preparing some potatoes, either taters with their jackets on, like I talked about, or the smashed potatoes. Just a little bit different presentation. I'm going to taste one of these and tell y'all the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Put the broiler on it. It crisps them up a little bit, and they're good. Good alternative to a baked potato. They're kind of like potato nachos. You can put whatever you wanted on that potato and use it like a chip. Anyway, hope y'all have learned something new. Hope you'll try it. Just a simple side dish. But sometimes we're scrambling for a side dish, and if you keep your pantry stocked with potatoes and staples like that, you can whip something up pretty quick. Now, this is a good one to put on the table when you gather your family around. Everybody just about likes potatoes. I don't know a potato that I don't like. I like all of them. They're good. So add this to your recipe box and fix some meals and feed that family. Y'all need to still be getting you an extra thing or two when you go to the store. Don't know what our future holds, and you might be glad to have a few extra groceries in your pantry. Just because things seem to have settled down, don't be any less vigilant than you have been. Buy 2 boxes of macaroni and cheese, 2 things of sugar, 2 things of flour, put 1 away. Keep your stash built up, rotate it and keep it. You may need it, and you'll be glad you did. We're fixing to start hurricane season in June, and so we always keep stuff ahead, because there's been times for 2 or 3 weeks we had no utilities, or, it was just crazy. So we always, on the Gulf Coast, we know to stay stocked up. The good Lord bless and keep y'all. I hope that you'll share my channel with your friends. Come back here in a day or 2, and we'll have something else good to eat. And I'm going to try to remember to leave the link below to that cookie recipe that I showed you, the cookies. It's Mama's Pecan Roll Cookies. Easy to make. You roll them up, put them in the freezer, and then you have cookies ready to slice and bake if company's going to drop in. It takes them about 10 to 12 minutes, maybe 15 to get soft enough to slice, and then you cook them 15 minutes and they're done. Easy way to fix a quick snack. God bless y'all, and I'll see you in a day or 2.